This is a review of the order trading system activity for January the 18th, 2022. We had 8 trades on that day, 2 were buys and 6 were short sells. First trade was BMRN. That's BioMartin Pharmaceuticals Incorporated, tripped at 11:35:23 a.m. at a price of 88.23. It was a short sell. It closed the day at 86.71 and down 3.89%, down 2.23% after hours. That's a positive. And we'll have a look see at the oops, wrong sheet. Okay. Volume looks like it was moving down. MACD, you can see is constantly moving. Moved down multiple times in the end of the day and moved down. DI, you can see DI is heavily down for the day. Bollinger Band down. That stock was booming down. Next trade is FB. That's Meta Platforms Incorporated, tripped at 12:35:01 p.m. at a price of $319.68. It was a short sell. It closed the day at 318.15, down 4.14%, up 0.36 early morning, but it is a positive as it closed below its tripping price. And we'll have a look see at the volume. Looks like it was consistently going down. You see it jumped up a little bit here in mid-afternoon. MACD down, 12:35. So it came down sideways, came down at the end of the day. DI came down a little bit, came down. DI showing almost half and half, and Bollinger Band, same type of thing with this movement of sideways, basically moving sideways, and we basically caught a positive at the end of the day where it moving down. So it ended the day moving positive. Most of the day it was actually moving sideways. Next trade is ELNA. Excuse me. That's Elanco Animal Health Incorporated, tripped at 12:39:49 p.m. at a price of $26.93. It was a buy. Closed the day at 26.81, down 0.81%, up 6.15% after hours. So it certainly recovered after its loss, but we don't have the big picture here. 12:39. Yeah, so it came up to here. 27.01. So it came up there. And 26.95. 27, 27.01. 27, 26. Then it's where it drops. So roughly around 312, the stock basically started, it came down and dropped there below its tripping price, or it dropped below its tripping price, but looks like it maintained it fairly consistently between 12:30 and 312. So we're talking close to 3 hours of positive activity for that stock. And considering this after hours activity too, it looks like something changed with the stock that actually pushed it forward, even though the end of the day it was below its previous close, but it must have been maybe it was up previous day before that. Okay, OBB showing good. MACD showed it came up, stabilized, down at the end of the day. DI pretty much up for most of the day. You see the end of the day it was dropping and a little bit, sideways. Bollinger Band shows a somewhat steady incline for most of the morning, and afternoon period looks like it's moving sideways, a little bit drop. So stock was moving positive, but end of the day in a sideways movement. Next trade is CRM. That's Salesforce.com Incorporated, tripped at 1:05:01 p.m. at a price of $226.80. It was a short sell. Closed the day at 226.06, down 2.24%, down 0.13% pre-market, so it's another positive. And Volume consistently looks like it was going down. It went down. There's a bit of a jump here in mid-afternoon. MACD showed that jump in mid-afternoon. End of the day moving down. DI actually showed moving back and forth, positive, negative, positive, negative. So DI showing that it was positive as much as it was negative, and Bollinger Band showed pretty much the consequence of that is we're pretty much getting sideways movements. End of the day though, a little bit of drop. So it's somewhat end of the day moving a little bit negative, but most of the day it was moving sideways. Next trade is MGM. That's MGM Resorts International, tripped at 1:25:09 p.m. at a price of 43.75. It was a short sell. It closed the day at 43.83, down 1.44% and down 0.75% pre-market early morning. So let's see, 125. Yeah, it came down here, basically hit a floor, and then recovered, and never dropped below that. So that stock is not showing a positive. But let's check to see if the indicators are showing it moving negative. Down, end of day down, MACD down, DI down, down. This shock is showing that late afternoon the stock started moving negative again. It was across the board, so I'm going to say it's a possible. Not a heavy possible, but I think it's still a possible. Okay, next trade is JWN. That's Nordstrom Incorporated, tripped at 2:20:10 p.m. at a price of 22.36. It was a buy. Closed the day at 22.03, down 1.03% and down 0.36 after hours. 22.36, 20. Okay, so we have it here. This is where it tripped, right around this area. So we tripped at this point. You can see it came up. And stayed up, 24, 22.36. So around 3, just after 3 o'clock, it started going down below its tripping price again. But between 2:20 and 3:02, we're talking 40 some odd minutes there where it was above its tripping price. I consider that a positive, even though as you can see it's ended the day moving negative again. So let's just see what the indicators are showing. Now, you can see our volume here, it came up when it jumped up and then it came down. MACD, same thing. It came up and then dropped. DI came up and then dropped. Bollinger Band came up there and dropped. Bollinger Band showing it was moving sideways. And then the mid-afternoon is where it jumped up, and that's where it tripped. And then the day it moved down. So it somewhat, majority of the day was somewhat moving sideways. That jump in the mid-afternoon, and then the end of the day it finished off moving negative. Next trade is IXUS. That's iShare Trust, iShares Core MSC. That's a big long name for a company. Stocks ETF. Tripped at 3:31:01 p.m. at a price of 70.47. It was a short sell. Closed the day at 70.44. Not much of a drop, but still it was down below its tripping price, so I would consider that a positive. And let's see what the indicators are showing. Yeah, volume looks like it was moving down to morning, early afternoon. It came up mid to mid afternoon, then dropped off late afternoon. In fact, the same thing, it did have a recovery, and then same thing with DI showed that it had this recovery mid afternoon and moved negative again. Bollinger Band showing the same thing, down. There was somewhat of a W pattern there. End of the day though, moving negative again. Next trade is ESGE. iShares Incorporated. This looks like the same one above. Yeah, somehow Yahoo, for whatever reason, actually, so IXUS was actually It ended the day below it, so the graph itself is not right for some reason, or the name of it's not right. I don't know what's going on with Yahoo again. Okay, so anyways, iShares record, but this is the iShares one. I've got 340.21 at a price of 40.17. It was a short sell. Closed day at 40.13. 1.74 down and down 0.27 after hours. So it's another positive. I'll check the indicator for that one. Same sort of activity as the previous stock. A little bit of a W pattern, or a bit of a W pattern. Dropped. Then you see the mid-afternoon recovered and then dropped. Same thing, MACD showing thing dropped, and then the recovery DI showed that it was dropping, recovered, and dropped. Weather advance showing the same thing. Stock ended the day moving negative. Okay, so that's 7 out of 8 stocks, which is 88%, and with the possibility, that's 100%. So a fairly good day, even though the day was down negative. It shows you the system here is designed to work both on positive and negative days, which was one of the main purposes of this system, is to be able to handle any kind of activity to give opportunities. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.